A public payments company just cut 4,000 jobs and tied it straight to AI. You run a service business with a dozen people. Here's the honest version of what that has to do with you. Almost nothing. And also something you actually need to hear, because the almost nothing part is exactly where most owners get this wrong. Every time a headline like this drops, it gets read two ways. AI is coming for everyone's job. Panic. Or, big company noise has nothing to do with a real business like mine. Ignore it completely. Both reactions are wrong, and both of them let you avoid actually looking at your own business, which is the one part of this that's actually worth 20 minutes of your attention. The actual answer is more useful than either one. This year, a Jack Dorsey-operated payments company announced cuts of roughly 4,000 employees, about 40% of its global workforce, and tied the decision directly to AI. Around the same time, another major tech company announced over 1,000 layoffs of its own, framed around what they called the agentic AI era. These are real. Not isolated incidents either. About 1 in 6 employers now expect AI to reduce headcount this year. That number climbs higher at large private firms with a lot of redundant structure built into how they operate. I had someone at a networking event ask me about it directly, half joking, half not. Ran a 14-person accounting firm, wanted to know if he should be worried. I asked him how many people on his team did the exact same job as someone else on his team. He thought about it for a second and said none. Everyone wears a slightly different hat, does a slightly different version of the work. That's the whole answer right there, sitting in his own headcount. Here's what those headlines are actually describing. Large companies with deep functional redundancy, whole departments doing repeatable, structured work are finding AI agents can absorb entire functions at once. That's a real large-scale shift, and it's happening at a size that makes news, because 4,000 people losing their jobs at once is a story, regardless of the cause behind it. It has almost nothing to do with how a 12-person service business operates, because you don't carry that kind of redundancy to begin with. A company with 10 people doing the same accounts payable task in parallel can consolidate that into a system managed by 2, an 80% reduction that reads as a brutal headline number and is, structurally, just automating one repeated function at scale. A 12-person service business where everyone already wears 3 different hats doesn't have 10 redundant accounts payable clerks to consolidate. There's nothing structurally similar between the two situations, no matter how similar the word layoffs makes them sound. Every major shift in how work gets done has followed a version of this same pattern. The printing press didn't eliminate writers. The automobile didn't eliminate transportation work, it changed what the job actually looked like day to day. Computers did the same thing to accounting, and robotics did it to manufacturing. No serious observer of any of those transitions argued that the total number of writers, drivers, or accountants would simply keep climbing forever. What happened each time is the lower skill version of the job got automated, and the higher skill version paid more and opened up to more people willing to climb toward it. AI is running that same play right now, just faster and wider than anything that came before it. The traditional entry-level job, the do this repetitive thing until you understand how the machine works job, is the thing that's actually changing. The rung on the ladder is being redesigned, not removed. The people who understand the new architecture of that rung are going to climb it fast. The people waiting for the old rung to come back are going to be waiting a long time, because it isn't coming back in the form they remember it. The new entry level is the AI manager, the person directing the AI, validating it, integrating it into the business, and taking accountability for what it produces. That role can't be automated, because it requires domain expertise, judgment, and the ability to catch the machine when it's wrong, and those things only come from a human who actually understands the specific business the AI is working inside of. An AI agent can draft a client proposal, but it takes someone who's actually run projects at this firm to know whether the scope it wrote is realistic, or whether it just sounds confident. AI can't run that audit on itself. It needs the domain expert standing over its shoulder. That's the model, whether the business is a 14-person accounting firm or a 500-person logistics company. This is exactly why the 14-person accounting firm owner's instinct was right without him fully realizing why. His worry was abstract, inherited straight from a headline, before he'd actually checked whether that headline described his situation at all. Once he counted his own headcount and saw no redundancy sitting there to consolidate, the fear had nowhere left to attach itself. That's the whole exercise, and it takes about the same 20 seconds it took him. The more useful question for that same owner is where AI could already be doing work someone on his team is currently doing by hand, freeing that person up for the higher value work only they can actually do. That's a completely different conversation than the one the layoff headline puts in your head, and it's the one actually worth having this quarter. 1. The layoffs making headlines are happening at a scale and structure your business doesn't share. Reading them as a preview of your future misreads what's actually being automated and why, and leads to fear that doesn't point anywhere useful. The 20-second headcount exercise the accounting firm owner ran works for your business too, whatever industry you're in. 2. The real risk for a small service business is staying the bottleneck doing work AI could handle, while a competitor frees up their best person for higher value work instead, week after week, until the gap between the two businesses becomes obvious to clients who can feel the difference even if they can't name it. That gap doesn't announce itself with a headline, it just shows up slowly in whose proposals get sent faster and whose calls get answered first, and by the time it's obvious enough to name, it's already been compounding for months. 3. The wage premium for people who can direct AI systems is already showing up in the data. The owner who gets fluent in directing AI infrastructure, instead of fearing it or ignoring it entirely, is positioned to benefit from exactly the shift everyone else is panicking about on their feed. That fluency is available to a 14-person firm the same way it's available to a 500-person one. It just has to be built on purpose instead of absorbed by accident, which means it's actually more available to the smaller business, since there's less bureaucracy standing between the decision and the first real attempt. Expect more headlines like this one over the next year, as large companies with redundant departments keep finding functions AI can absorb at scale. None of that changes what a small service business actually needs to do, which is stop being the bottleneck inside its own operation. Owners who treat this moment as a reason to finally build real infrastructure are going to look back on these headlines as the moment everyone else got distracted by the wrong story, while they used the same year to quietly build the thing their competitors were still arguing about on social media. The businesses that made the mistake of reading their own future into a headline about a 4,000-person payments company are going to spend the year either panicking over nothing or feeling falsely relieved over nothing, neither of which builds anything. Before you react to the next layoff headline, it helps to actually know where your business stands, not guess based on a story about a company that operates nothing like yours. The operational snapshot tells you exactly where the gap is, free, link in the description. If you enjoyed this content, like and subscribe so you can watch more videos about how to apply AI into your business.